Hey guys, sure enough you'll notice it says first half of part 4. I had some trouble with it wanting to import such a large file, so I had to take and cut part 4 in half. And so as soon as the first half uploads, I will be uploading the second half of part 4 regarding taking the throat off the Gleaner R52. So, sorry about that, but hopefully I can get it all uploaded and it'll be good to go. Thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate it. Hey guys, welcome back to part 4 of working on the combine. Well, as you can see, we're actually going over a river, but I'm actually on my way up to that machine shop. As you saw in part 3, I was going to take that hex shaft and take up that guy, and he was going to rebuild it. Well, I heard from him, so we're headed up to pick it up. Alright guys, I just picked up the hex shaft for the combine, so I'll show it to you when we get back down here to the shed. I'm just now leaving this place up here. Yeah, I'm leaving this welding shop up here. I just wanted to give this guy a shout out. There's his sign. Not too, hopefully you can read that halfway decent. NCS Welding. Here in the town of Winnemac. Phone number 574-946-7485. So yeah, just thought I'd give him a little shout out. And when I show you the hex shaft, you'll know what I mean. He does great work. So if you're in the northern Indiana, Winnemac, Rochester area, Culver, you name it, give this guy a call. His name's Mike Maddox. We're back here in the shed. I just put this drive shaft in the vise. But yeah, right there it is. You can see how he got all machined down, looking like a new one. And of course I showed you there on part 3 what it looked like before. And so I can tell you one thing, it's a whole lot cheaper than buying a new one from Agco. They wanted $852 for a new one, whereas here he only charged me $250. So can't beat that deal. Now I'm just going to grab me some emery paper. Where the bearings go on at, I always like to take and shine that up on each side with emery paper. That way they pop on a lot easier. And then it'll be pretty much waiting on the bearings and well, I'll take that back, the sprockets, to show up at our Agco dealer. Because they already had the bearings on hand, but the sprockets, they had to order them in, and they're the way they talk, they think they might be in today. We'll wait and see. Just got done taking a little bit of emery paper and polishing up that end right there and this end right here where the bearing goes on. So I just talked to the dealership, and they said they had just gotten the sprockets and the bearings and that kind of stuff all in. We'll take that back. They already had the bearings on hand. They had just got the sprockets in on order. And so we'll get them picked up and get them put back on here. Well guys, we're back on a little road trip adventure. Heading over to Plevna Implement to pick up my sprockets, the 2 bearings, and 4 set screws. So I'll bring you in once we get on over here. Alright guys, we're coming into the little town of Plevna, which is east, kind of northeast of Kokomo, Indiana. And the dealership basically makes up the town. They got quite a few goodies sitting out on their lot. Got an S97 Gleaner. There's a Massey. Got stuff over here. Right there's a big Fent Ideal. That looks like a number 7, a big fence 7 ideal. Right, here's the main office. Yeah, there we go. Now you can see it. Of course, they got Fent, white planters, Massey, Rogator, Gleaner, you name it. So I'm gonna run in and get my parts, and we'll be heading back to the shed. Figured I'd take a quick little drive through their lot here. They got a nice S97, which will be a Class 7 machine. I like the looks of it. Got duals. It does not look like it has rear wheel assist, however. That would be nice. I may jump out and take a look at it. Okay, I just jumped up here on the platform. Nice. Let's take a look inside. Wow, nice cab. This is like a small apartment. In fact, if I remember correctly, the cab on the S9 Gleaners, what they call them, the S96, 97, and 98, is the same as on the Fent. But you got a nice little, of course, right here you got your controls or your computer readout. On the back side, you got all kinds of storage right there up against the window. And of course over here, well, hey, check that out. You even have a, it's either a heater or it's a refrigerator. There you go. This is nice. I like it. Looks like you got your light settings up there above your head. I like that hydro lever. Sweet. Do not start. Now that's shocking. They go off and leave the key in the thing. In fact, I see over there across the road, can't really zoom up with a GoPro. I see they also have an S98 over there, which is the biggest that Gleaner makes. It's a Class 8 machine. Let's jump back out here. That's a nice big cab door. There we go. Okay, got a ladder going up the front here. That way you can jump up and take a look in the hopper. Of course, they got the tops all folded down. I'm guessing it's going to have the power fold top. There's a sample door. You can reach in and grab a sample. They still keep the fuel tank though up here on the front end. As far as basic setup, they've not really changed from the R's to the S. Other than the S, just everything's bigger on it. So, still got your belt drive coming down here to the center. Basically the same setup. And of course you got your crap tank right there is what I call it. I'd take that junk off of it if it was me. But your machine will run a whole lot better. And so it's my understanding that these machines here actually run a 7-cylinder Agco made Sisu motor. So you got the straw splitters coming off the shoe. Of course you got your splitter back here, which is kind of odd. Bigger machine, they still keep the same size splitter. I like my modification I did on our R72. I made this splitter pan bigger. It comes from here throughout the end. So somebody put a little cab cam right there. That's really neat. Of course you got your rotary screen. I like that. I wonder what year it is. It don't look like it has a whole lot of use on it. So, well, time to get back to the shed and get back to work. Well, we're back here in the shed. I'm going through getting different things opened up. There's the bearings. Regular standard lock collar bearing. However, it does have, as you can see, it's got the extended race piece right there. I know when I took the old bearings out, this side right here is actually for a lock collar. You can see it's kind of tapered on that side. This side right here is just the regular extended race. I know when I took both bearings out, this side was facing out on both sides, right and left. And so, one thing that I'm trying to get figured out though, you see in that spot right there, you see how it's beveled where that bearing can sit. And it's hard to hold the camera and the light at the same time and point to you. Well, maybe I can. Right there, that little beveled spot. Right there. This side here, you put the bearing in like that, just like a pillow block bearing. Put it in there and give it a, I don't know if you can get the dumb thing to line up. Huh. I thought anyway. There we go. Well, hey, I did it with my fingers. That's a surprise. I would have thought I would have had to stick a pry bar in there and get it turned around. Okay, well, that works. That's how that side goes in. Now the fun job I've got to get figured out is over here on this side. This one is just straight in. And so what I'm beginning to wonder is if you don't you put the drive shaft through this way, get it put in that bearing on that side, and then you gotta take and get maybe I can find a piece of pipe to go over it. And then you have to just take and drive that bearing in from the outside. Because like I say, this one here with no bevel, you can't go in and turn it. Secondly, with the drive shaft stuck out, you definitely can't turn it in like that and flip it up. So it looks like it's got to go in once the drive shaft is in, because with that drive shaft having that hex right there, it can only go on one side at a time. It's not like you just take and slide the bearing clear over from one end to the other. So just had to keep playing with it here. Okay, I put you back up on top of my head. That way I can use both hands. Okay, we're going to go right through there like that. Over here on this side. However, let's not jump too far ahead. Before we get that thing stuck through there, we better get the sprockets put on. Now, these sprockets are not directional. The thing you want, however, you do want the set screws on the inside, facing each other. Oh, it's got paint in there. It doesn't want to go on there very well. I may get a little emery paper. There we go. I just had a burr. I can tell you one thing, they don't give them sprockets away for nothing. There we go. New sprocket fits tighter. Uh-oh. I may have to get my grinder out and do a little more grinding. When he rebuilt that, let's see here, I gave him the old sprocket that was here on the right hand side. It was still good, but of course a new one, even compared to that one, is going to have just a touch tighter tolerance. Okay, yeah, we're bumping just, I mean, I can see it. Maybe just a couple thousandths. It's not going to take much, but I can just take my grinder, go back and forth, and just get that little bit of a burr off there, and that way it'll slide over better. Got it sitting here in the vise, And just looking at it, I'm almost kind of wondering if it isn't these shoulders just a bit. Turn that a little bit. Pulling back up that spot. I mean, I can almost take it over by slamming it into it. Yeah, there it went. In fact, I may actually keep it like that and actually just use the hammer to take and tap it back and forth. Keeping good and tight like that would definitely ensure a good tight grip. Thing is though, I gotta get this sprocket over and over here. Now I gotta get it back off. Well, let's go get a hammer. Okay, pushing it over like that, I may be able to see kind of like maybe a potential scrape mark in that, or so I thought. Huh, don't see anything at all. Well, I thought it might have seemed like, show like a little, like a scrape mark that kind of worked into it. Well, I may kind of have to hit it with the grinder just a bit, or I may even take a good file and just kind of go across each one of these corners here just a bit. Yeah, taking a file just a little bit, them corners. Even that seemed to help. Well, we'll keep going around here checking them out. Oh yeah, guys, sure enough, come to think of it, that combine that I showed you, sure enough, I know the one salesman that works over there at Plevna Implement. So after I left over there, was heading back here to the shop, I called and talked to him just out of curiosity. And that combine was a 2017 with right around 1,200 engine hours and right at about I think it's about 1050. So between 1,000 and 1,100 separator hours. Not bad for a 2017. However, though, the price tag ain't exactly cheap. Asking $290 for it. Hey, there we go. When I got home, I told Dad about it. We both agreed we'll keep what we got. At least it's paid for. And since I've done a lot of modifications to it, It's actually opened up the capacity of it, and so I like it. It's definitely making a difference. Hey, there we go. That's what I wanted. Now this one here can go right over to the right hand side, throw the left one on, come right here where he rebuilt, and we should be good to go. Okay, I just brought the drive shaft back over from the vise and stuck it in from the left side here. Now I'm going to start putting the sprockets on. We'll get it fed through over here, and then the fun job, getting it lined up on that bearing. I mean, at least the bearing I can take and tip it. Like I say, I'm surprised I was able to take and drop it into that cradle and flip it by hand, but hey, that works. So let's get the drive shaft in. Okay, let's start putting sprockets on. These sprockets have 2 set screws each. Okay, there's that one. Oh, that must not be the one I was just testing with. It's probably got paint inside. I guess I should have threw it on the vise and checked them both. Let's try this one here. Well, that's odd. Something's different. Let's take this back out and put it on the vise and see what's going on here. Well, guys, I'm not sure what's going on here. This is the one I was just working with. Now I put the thing back up against here, it jams again. So, I'm not sure what's going on. Kind of odd. This one here, I can actually see paint inside here. In fact, right there, it's just kind of get it walked on that shoulder. It's beginning to chip off. I had to take and chip that paint out of there. But yeah, this one here's the one I just tried, and it shot back and forth over top of that, and now it don't go. Well, have to keep playing with it. I get the old file out and do a little more filing. Well, that's weird. Now it goes back and forth like normal. This one here, once I got that paint worked out of that those shoulders, it goes back and forth just fine. So let's take it back over and see if we can get it put back together again. Okay, let's see if we can do this again. Same thing. Put your sprocket over. Make sure your set screw holes are facing at each other on the inside. Huh. Maybe it's because I got this thing pinched in that vise, I'm able to take and actually hit into it harder with both hands. Well, there it goes again. I may just see if I can swap sprockets because that right over there went on easier. I'll grab a hammer. There we go. Like I say, you want the set screw holes facing each other. So now, let's put this one back on. Well, now look at that. practically goes over with just your fingers. Evidently, it must be such a tight tolerance in there that maybe I'm not hitting it directly, perfectly square or something. Okay, enough of that. As far as setting these things on the width for the chain, you don't do that until you get your bearings all done. So, now we're going to jump on over here. Go ahead and get the light. Not too sure how well you can see inside that bearing. It's so dark in there, I can't hardly see in it. Okay, there I got the drive shaft stuck into the bearing housing. Now the fun job, getting that thing drove in there. Probably what I'll end up doing is I'll take a board, big sledgehammer, get on this end, just start driving on it. That's all I know. But yeah, we got started anyway. That's what you want. We can take and give it a few taps. At least get it started. Kind of tap on that housing. Help get lined up. A few more taps. Nothing hard, because you sure don't want to mushroom that end. You do that, you are screwed. Okay, I'm gonna grab me a big board. Well, I don't need to be real big. A 2x4, 2x6, anything that will protect that. Then you can get out here and smack away with whatever you want to hit with.